My name is Thomas Loveheart, and I'm a lifelong independent who is running against the Republican incumbent in Cedar City this November. And I've been registered unaffiliated until literally the second that I filed to run against Shipp. And I changed my registration to Democrat. And that's got a lot of people out here very upset. They're calling me a fake independent or a Trojan horse for the Democratic Party. Where I come from, being called a Democrat or being called a liberal is kind of offensive, which is why on my website you'll see that I refer to myself as a rural progressive independent. Because the truth is, we need a new kind of politics out here. We need a new kind of politics in this country. You talk about Trojan horses, but I never hear Republicans talk about the fact that the Trump administration has invited these big tech oligarchs into every facet of the government. And they're dreaming of these corporate-run freedom cities and domestic mass surveillance on regular citizens, social credit scores, and online censorship, the total erosion of our privacy, while they consolidate 99% of the media ecosystem in our country. And spend untold billions influencing our elections and calling that a corporation's right to free speech. And today I actually got an anonymous threat on my life. So I think this is a good time to remind everybody about where I stand on the Second Amendment. I think that every American, right or left, should be armed. It's one of our most sacred rights, and I do not support any gun control legislation, which is more than you can say about Shipp, who supports disarming anybody that has to rely on homeless services. So a lot of us out here, we're only a couple missed paychecks away from being homeless. Imagine after you lose everything, you also lose your Second Amendment because a rural Republican is supporting that kind of legislation. As someone who's so different from the status quo out here, I want to be as upfront and honest as I can about what I believe and what are my intentions for Cedar City as your representative. And I'm proud to say that on my website, I've posted more about my platform and my personal beliefs than virtually any other politician in the state of Utah. What works in rural Utah is not going to be the same kind of politics that works on the national stage. The left-leaning people out here are very, very different than those you see on Fox News. And the Republicans out here, they should be very different than those that we see on the national level too. Frankly, it's a little bit ridiculous to me when you have somebody running for a city council and they're weighing in on the culture war issues as if that matters at all to being a good city council member for Cedar City. I love Utah, I love my town, I love my neighbors, and I don't want to see everything that I love be destroyed by a legislature that is completely unaccountable to the people living out here. So I'll start with this one. This is my Glock 19. It's the one I keep in my car at all times. Reliable, easily serviceable. There's lots of parts around. Very common 9mm bullet. It's a solid gun. And the next one is Hellfire Spitfire. What is this called? Hellcat Pro. And this is my concealed carry. Then we can get into some of the more fun guns. My Tavor TS-12, it's made by the Israeli weapon or defense industry or something. This is really cool because I figure that when society eventually collapses, it's going to be good to have a 12 gauge. That's a very common ammo type, and shotguns are cool. Really looks like something out of Star Wars. It has rotating chambers, and I keep one of these chambers loaded with non-lethal rounds so that, you know, if someone does break into my home, I'll give them a nice warning shot in the ass before I escalate matters further. This is the Kel-Tec P50, which is just an insane gun. This is actually the clip. It runs lengthwise along the gun. I think it has 55 rounds. I just want to show you guys, look at this clip. That's how you load this gun. More of a range gun. You know, I've never got a chance to use it in real life, and that's how I feel. Honestly, that's how I hope most of my weapons will remain. And lastly, my open carry gun. This is a gold Beretta. It's beautiful, so you want to wear it out. I take it to Vegas when I'm walking around because it's a showpiece. I forgot there's one more, and I think that everybody should own a revolver. This is a Ruger Super Blackhawk 44 Magnum. It's a big gun. There's less bullets, but way more reliable. These things never jam. They're basically indestructible and they're beautiful. I think everybody should be armed, especially the political climate that we're living in today. I know that Trump is very popular out here, and I'm not going to be one of those lefties who's constantly calling everything that I don't like authoritarianism and fascism and Nazis. I literally received a threat on my life, but we're also witnessing the complete infiltration and subversion of our democracy by these pedophilic, plutocratic, globalist, reptilian elites. And we should be prepared to defend our country and defend our freedoms from these un-American forces. If you look around and you don't realize that we are less free than we were before, more divided, more angry, more poor, and see that trend continuing under their plan for our dystopian future, then you need to wake up, because the Democrats and the people who moved here from out of state are not your enemies. Left or right, we want a lot of the same things. We want to be able to afford a home in our hometown. We want to be able to raise a family. We want to protect our air and our water from these gigantic data centers. And we want to make sure that we really do live in a democracy where our elected officials actually represent us and are actually accountable to the will of the voters, even if that means that they elect a socialist in Salt Lake City. My name is Thomas Loveheart, and I'm running to be your representative. And learn all about me and where I stand on my website at voteloveheart.com. Please consider donating to my campaign, because this is as grassroots as it gets. And if we're ever going to change the trajectory of this state and the trajectory of our country, then we need to start electing people who actually believe in the principles that this country was founded on, rather than partisan extremists who just want to win the next election.